So when you're working on a project, you got a big, complicated part of it done. You think, finally, it's all finished. I'll never have to take that apart again. And you get that great sense of accomplishment. Tell me, does it feel good? So my problem is, I need to stick this down in this hole. There isn't room to do it. I have to take the nose and the rad and everything back out so I can put this in. Let me show you. So the room between the rad and the front of the block where this sits, there's too much stuff in the way, and this is all I can take out. I don't want to try to get that fan shoved down between that brand new aluminum rad and the engine block, because honestly, if you breathe hard enough on those aluminum rads, they will get dented. So now that the fan's back in, if you spy close enough, you can see there's been more stuff taken off. Well, I knew I had to do this in the first place because I still have to get my turn signal kit in, the wires ran for the headlights and everything. You really can't do that with the rad in place. Okay, so the front end wiring should be done. I have my turn signal kit mounted. I have the front turn signals going out to the corners, as well as my high beam, low beam, and side marker lights all have been ran nicely now. Now I can put the rad back in and actually put coolant in it, because I should not have to take the rad out anymore whatsoever. Okay, so front end electrical is not done. As you can see, I got the headlight on, so I have to actually wire in the plug for the bulb there. And the other thing is, this is definitely not a Concorde restoration, because this vehicle never came with what's called the blackout or the clearance marker light on the fender. I'm putting it on because A, I'm going to put turn signals on this so I can actually drive it, be a little more legal, and let everybody see where I'm going and what I'm doing. And two, my argument for why I can do this is because in life serviceability, they could do upgrades to vehicles along the way to, allow the vehicle to be in longer. So that's why I'm going to upgrade this, because in theory it can be done, and obviously it is done in modern day fleets as well. front end all wired together. I have my lights in. I don't have the turn signals done yet. I still have to do a little more depth of that and also run the rear. So, I haven't tested the lights. I haven't tested the horn that's buried down there. So, fingers crossed everything's going to work. We have clearance lights. Low beam, high beam, horn, success! In the previous video, I was talking about how I was looking for plans to get the storage bin or the EIS bins that go on this truck because they are so hard to find. Well, a good friend of mine, Rob out in Manitoba, was able to find me a set in Prince Albert, Saskatchewan. Here they are. So there's also another bin that actually sits right here on top of the fuel tanks as well. So now I don't have to build them, I just have to get this all cleaned up. Now the only thing I'm really missing is the base for the spare tire, because it actually sits in here. There's an upper bracket that holds the tire and there's supposed to be a little bracket here to come around. So the base is fairly simple with a piece of angle iron, so we'll get that made up once we have this mounted as well, because then we can do measurements. So what we're doing right now is ensuring that the rebuilt cargo box and the original bins actually fit together. I can say they were building things so quickly by different manufacturers, the tolerances didn't quite line up. We're having issues getting this to bolt to this. I'll show you why. So these three holes line up, but these holes and the ones going underneath didn't. So we gotta cut and drop this a whole 1/4 inch, and then these holes start lining up again. Basically, there's going to be a lot of fiddling on and off this thing to get all the bolt holes along this bottom edge to line up. Since we're getting ready to put the box on, it meant I actually had to get my button gear, get shock absorbers cleaned up and mounted. So, yeah, I forgot to get that on film, but they're in. I've heard these referred to knee shocks because of the angle here of this lever going up and down. So as the axle travels up and down, the rotation inside the shock has baffling inside, and there's SA90 oil in there to slow up and down. We're going to take that cargo box, pick it up, turn it around, bring it back in, and for the first time, that cargo box will meet this truck. I can't wait. We have the cargo box just set in place for now, so we can make sure that obviously the cargo bin and the spacing to start placing the fuel tanks. So we got to figure out how the fuel tanks are mocked up properly, because surprisingly, they're only strapped down to a piece of wood. So we got to figure out how the wood is attached to the chassis, and then how wide the wood has to be, all the spacing, and then tie everything down. And then I also have to get these fuel tanks to see if they're savable or not, because, yeah, 80-year-old fuel tanks might be rusted out. To continue the never-ending saga of the Meccano set, now I had to make the door frame even smaller by putting these panels in. This allows the door to actually have a seal. Also makes it even harder to get your feet in there. The doors got them hung. I don't think I've seen an 11-12 cab door close as nicely as this. Just from the dovetail clips. Now to finish drilling the holes and to get the handle through. And now I have both doors working. Doesn't even rattle. I still put some weather stripping in just in case. The interior, I still have a supporting bracket to put in and the inner door skin, but I'm currently waiting on more fasteners for that. Dad's already got the bottom mounting bracket for the fuel tanks sorted out. Just a matter of drilling the holes and bolting it in place. So for now, that's it for this video. Next video, I will start opening up the fuel tanks to see if they're salvageable. I know one isn't. This one is still a mystery. So that's next time.